everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10. I am your host, Anthony Gamer, and I am Red Fox, co-host, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 in-house Atari 2600 games. Before we get started there, we're going to give you our usual disclaimer that we mean absolutely no disrespect whatsoever. These are simply our opinions, and that's all. We're not saying we're any better than you or what you think doesn't matter. These are strictly our opinions, and we mean absolutely no offense from them. Yep. So let's go ahead and get started discussing the in-house games. Like every other game company that makes their own game system, Atari did make its own games in-house. Yes, and some of these games were original, created by them, and others were ports of some great arcade games. So, without further ado, let's get into the games. Are you ready, Red? Oh yeah, Red is ready, so let's begin. And what better game to start us off with at the number 10 spot but Combat. This game was programmed by Larry Wagner and Joe Takur. This was the pack-in title for many years for the 2600, back in the day when they were pushing for you to play with friends and family as opposed to playing by yourself and with yourself. That could be taken two ways. Anyway, so Anthony and I have lots of memories of playing this game as kids, playing it with our dads and friends, and it's just a whole lot of fun and many fond memories of this game. At the number 9 spot, we have the very first Atari game I ever played at a friend's house, and that is Space Invaders. This port of an arcade game was programmed by Rick Mauer. Now, to say that Space Invaders set the video game world on fire would be an understatement. It was one of the most successful arcade games of all time. Yup, it's been often replicated but never quite duplicated. Oh, I'll tell you. And honestly, for those of you that are thinking about getting into programming and want to start off with hacking, this is one of the easiest games to hack and can help you learn how to do it correctly. Yeah, I remember one of the first games you ever hacked was Rap Invaders. Yep. And of course, one of the most well-known prototypes of all is Pepsi Invaders or Coke Wins. And next up, we have at the number 8 spot, Super Breakout. Now, growing up as kids, neither Red nor I were really all that great with paddle controls. Oh yeah, I remember when you got the paddle controls, it didn't take long and they broke, and then, that was it. Yep, that's why now when I have a current 2600 that I have oodles and oodles and oodles of paddle controllers. Besides that fact, there are many different variations on this game as you're trying to simply bounce that ball up and break the barrier. This game has been shown in a lot of commercials, even those not related to video games. It's a really fun, challenging game. You gotta love those sound effects that they made for it. Just really a fun and addictive game. And at the number 7 spot, we have Warlords. This was actually a port of an arcade game that was programmed by Carla Meninsky, one of the first women to program a video game, at least that we know of. Yeah, that's true. There may have been others before her, but she was probably the most well-known. The story behind this game is really cool, as you have these 4 brothers that are fighting to be the overall king of a kingdom, and they are trying to destroy each other. In the arcade game, you see a dragon blow a fireball, and you just bounce it between each other, trying to destroy each other's castle and destroy the other person. What was so cool about this game is that you could have 4 people play at the same time. Yeah, and the best part was they were all in the same room with you, not in some other country or somewhere else. Yeah, I think young people today don't really know what they're missing out on by being able to play games with their friends in the same room like we did. Now at the number 6 spot, we have Adventure, one of the most famous of all 2600 games. It was programmed by Warren Robinett and the first console video game to contain an Easter egg. In this game, you are a hero and you are trying to defeat the dragon and all that good stuff that you have in those amazing adventure fantasy type games, which incidentally, Red and I both love. Oh yeah. I mean, the graphics are simplistic, but tell you what, this game is so much fun, and it's another one that a lot of people like to hack. But honestly, nothing beats the original, I tell you what. And next up we have Asteroids. Now hold on a minute. What's the matter? I need to say something. Okay, I've known this goofball here for close to 40 years, and I have never seen anybody be more devoted to beating a game than this. Now I know what you're thinking. There's no beating Asteroids, is there? But I tell you what, this guy stayed up for like 6 hours straight playing this game just so he could flip the score back to 0. I tell you, it was... I couldn't believe it. Anyway, this game was a port of an arcade game. Unfortunately, at the time, they couldn't replicate the vector graphics that the arcade had. But to tell you the truth, this game was so much fun. Yeah, it wasn't until a few years later that we even knew that this was an arcade game. Oh yeah, with all the variations in the game, with the annoying satellites and UFOs, and it's just one of them games that just really has stood the test of time. I tell you, Brad Stewart did a great job programming this game. Now at the number 4 spot we have Haunted House. This was programmed by James Andreasen. Now, this game was originally known as Nightmare Manor. In this game, you are locked inside a haunted house, and all you have are candles. You've got to get through the 4 levels in this mansion, find 3 parts of a key, and get out. But look out for the spider and the ghost. I'll tell you what, they made a really cool remake of this on that Atari 50 game for the PS4. Are you gonna review that? Oh yeah, I will, don't worry. Oh yeah, but the remake is so cool too. I mean, honestly, I know that Atari 50 game is just... any Atari person should own it. It's like if you don't, it should be illegal, but... the variations on this game always bring the challenge, and this is definitely one of my all-time favorite Atari 2600 games. Now at the number 3 spot we have Yar's Revenge. This was programmed by Howard Scott Warshaw. Yeah, now don't forget to put the apostrophe after the S or somebody's going to yell at you again. Oh, that's true. In this game, you are this Yar, this really cool, like bug-like creature, trying to get revenge on these people that have tried, these other aliens that have tried to destroy your planet. Really a fun game. That middle part is so cool with the safety zone there. You're trying to gnaw your way in and send the bomb in to destroy them. Watch out for that guided missile that's coming after you, and be careful not to shoot yourself with your own missile. I wish I had $1 for every time I've done that, but anyway, a great game, really gone into legendary status as it's been featured in lots of TV shows, including The Walking Dead. And next we have one of the single most difficult games ever made for the Atari 2600, and that is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now this, of course, was also programmed by the great Howard Scott Warshaw, and beating this game back in the day was bragging rights for sure, because this was a tough game. Oh, it sure was. Honestly, it was a great game, but it was tough. Me and my late friend Daniel Leggett used to play this game just because we wanted to beat it. And we couldn't until I sent a letter to Atari and asked them for the instruction manual. They sent it to me, and then I beat the game. So it was just great. And every time I played again, I do it in tribute to my late friend, because we just played this game for hours, days, weeks, and months on end. And it wasn't until I got the instruction manual that I was able to beat it. Hey, didn't a friend of yours say that he was able to get pretty far in it without it? Oh yeah, he claims that, but I don't believe him. And finally, we come to the number 1 game on our list, and that is Solaris. This was programmed by Doug Neubauer. Now in this game, it was originally supposed to be a tie-in to, what was that movie? Oh, Last Starfighter. Oh yeah, that's right. It was supposed to be, but then since the movie didn't do so hot, they decided, let's just make it like part 2 of Star Raiders. Also a pretty neat game. Unfortunately, Anthony and I played this game before we played Star Raiders, and, you know, then Star Raiders wasn't as cool as it probably would have been if we'd played that first. Anyway, the story behind this is the Xylons are back. Those space sneaks, villains of Venus, Saturnian scoundrels. They're swarming through the galaxy in huge forces, attempting another takeover. Now, it is your job to defeat these guys with your ship. and you were trying to make it to the planet system of Solaris. So it is a great game, honestly. Just it pushes the 2600 to its limits. A really fun game that I think would make a great movie. Oh, I totally agree. And so this is our number one choice for the in-house Atari 2600 games, Solaris. Well, that brings this episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10 to a close. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, if you did, let us know by giving us a big thumbs up. And also let us know if you really agreed with our list or not, or if there's some games you thought we should have put on here and didn't, or any comments you got. We'd really like to hear. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when we upload any new videos. So, what is going to be our next video? Well, I was thinking, let's go with another third-party game company, and this time it'll be Parker Brothers. Yep, Parker Brothers made some great ports, some great original games, and they teased us about some games that still have not yet seen the light of day. Jerks. Anyway, until next time, this has been Anthony Gamer, and I am Red Fox, and we will see you all in the next episode. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now. Goodbye, everybody.